Hello, Squirrel Nut here with another video. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like and share button. And if you enjoy content like this, go ahead and hit subscribe. It's free. And then while you're at it, go ahead and hit that little bell notification button, and it will notify you whenever I have new content on the web. Well, this is Linux Mint 18.2 Sonia Mate or Mate edition. First, I will show you the update manager when you first install it. It will ask you how you want to keep your update policy. Just choose whatever you want. Click OK. And then it will show you any updates that are available. When you see this exclamation mark, that means that there's updates, and then when it's all updated, you see a green check mark, and you have your Linux kernels. You can change Linux kernels if you want, your preferences, your sources, update policy, so on and so forth. And when you first install it, you will have your favorites available here, like your web browser, mail client, so on and so forth. If you hit applications, it will show all of your applications, either all of your applications, your accessory, graphics, internet, office, which LibreOffice is installed by default in Linux Mint. And then you have your trash, desktop, network, so on and so forth. Your software manager here. Let me go ahead and show you that. It's divided into features, all packages, internet, sound and video, graphics, so on and so forth. And if you go into your sound and video, well, it'll show you all of the your sound and videos applications. Some of them, like graphics, it's divided into a 3D graphics, drawings, photography, anything to do with publishing, scanning, so on and so forth. Some of them are divided like that, or some of them is just your all of your applications you can install, or you can go ahead and install it by apt-get by opening up your terminal down here. The Firefox web browser is installed by default. I believe that's installed through all of the Linux distros here. And then your package manager. It will, when it's done populated, it will show all of the packages that is available to install through Linux Mint, or you can install, your third-party applications, which will not be in here, which will be installed through apt-get or other means by downloading a package handler that you just double-click and it installs it. Your control center here has all of your backup tools, your administrative tasks like your backup tool, domain blocker. Driver manager manages drivers for your system. When you install Linux for the first time, or Linux Mint for the first time, I suggest you running this for any proprietary drivers that may be available. It will see what you have on your computer and then go on to the internet and look for any proprietary drivers, and it will list it here. And to change it, you just go ahead and select it and then apply changes. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then your update manager, software managers, which I showed you, the package managers, which I showed you, software sources. Basically, just it manages where it finds your updates. Like the main is the Linux Mint, and since Linux Mint is based on Ubuntu, it'll have any Ubuntu related materials that can be installed on Linux Mints. And then your personal package archives, basically anything you install like through apt-get or anything else like that, it'll have a package archive here that will point to the software, that if there's anything like newer available, it'll show up on your update manager. And then additional repositories, and then your PGP keys, authentication keys, to make sure you're getting it from the correct source, and then your maintenance here, and then your hardware, if you have any Bluetooth, and then you can adjust your keyboards, power management, sound, your hard disks, your display mouse, so on and so forth. And then your firewall configurations, network connections, proxies. Your appearance, let's go on here. Say for instance you don't like this green icon right here or down here. What you can do, you can say change it to this purple. You click on that and it will change everything to purple. And then you can actually customize it a little bit further. You can put red, sand, teal, all kinds of stuff. And then your window borders, you can change it to dark border, simple, or anything like that. And then your icons, say for instance you don't like your icons that purple, say you want to go the yellow, and it'll change it right here, yellow, yellow, orange, gray, so on and so forth. And then your pointers, either that, or if you don't like any of the themes that's on there, you can get more themes online, and then you can install the themes here. And then Compass configuration settings manager, that's a whole different monster here. You can do pretty cool stuff. You can slide your desktop across to a different desktop, so on and so forth. Desktop settings, you have your icons right here, your computer home, and if you want your trash, go trash, networks, show your networks, or your mounted volumes, which if you put in a USB stick, it'll have an icon right here, or a CD-ROM or whatever. Terminal, show future cookies, interfaces, so on and so forth. It's fairly cool. Your input method, languages, main menu. If you want to, like, say under graphics, you want to have this image magic be displayed underneath your graphics, you just go ahead and click on that and it will show up right here. Look and feel your Windows preferences, the behavior, what you do on your mouse click, so on and so forth. Screensaver, languages, preferred applications. If you have like say multiple web browsers and you prefer one over the other, you can change that here. In your file management here, If you want when you open up your file explorer right here, if you want it as like your icon view or a list view, compact view, every time you open it, it will change it to that. And then your behavior, single click, double click, display, list column, so on and so forth. Okay, and then you can change how you can configure your login window. When you just go ahead and log out your user, you can change that to how it looks here. You can draw a grid, user backgrounds. If you have a background you want to use, show host name, which would be your computer name. If you have any logos you want to show or background, so on and so forth. And then you have your lock screen, log out, quit, trash, desktop, home folder. And down here you can add anything to your panel here. Say for instance you want to add a say investment. You could add, oh, it's down here. You can add your investments, you can add your symbols and stuff like that, and it will show up. And if you don't want it, you just right click, move from panel, and then properties. If you don't want it down on the bottom, you can do the top, left, right. You expandable, auto hide, show hide buttons. And then you can change your background here. You want a solid color, white. If you don't want white, you want purple. Change it to purple here, and it'll change it, or that. And if you want a custom color right here, click on that, and you have all your custom colors. And then opaqueness. And if you have a background image that you want to use, you can put that on there as well. And then you can also add a new panel, and for default it's up here. Same thing, you can add any of these to your panel. Say hardware sensor. Oh, no sensors found. That's probably because I'm running it underneath a virtual machine. And then you can also move it top, bottom, left, right, size of the panel, background colors as well. And if you decide you don't want it anymore, delete this panel. Okay, and if you want to uninstall a program, all you do is go to the program you want to uninstall, say GIMP image editor. You right click, you can either add to desktop or panel, show in my favorites, launch when you log in, or launch it, or uninstall it right here. Click on that. It will ask you for your password. You put it on and it will uninstall for you. Simple pimple. And right click on your desktop. You can either create a folder, launcher, a document, open in terminal, organize desktop name, change background. Okay, change backgrounds. You have a choice of any of these backgrounds, or you can add your background style, zoom, center, scale, or if you want just a regular different color, just a solid color, horizontal gradient, so on and so forth. And then your fonts, if you want to change your fonts, you can change it here. Interface. You can go ahead and donate if you want. If you do end up using Linux Mint, I do suggest on donating because server cost isn't free, and the boys and girls who produce Linux Mint, they don't get paid, so making donations, they would really greatly appreciate it. You can either make it in US dollars or euros, PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Bank cards accept it. Bitcoins and Mint coins are also accepted. And when you donate, you have an option, put your name up here and how much you donated. As you can see, some people as little as $1, as high as $40, and if you donate more than once, it'll say second donation, third donation. Here, this company, Rent Cars Near Me, donated $10, and it's their 11th donation. But and they have forums. You can, if you have any questions, chat room, get involved, how to get involved, documentation, learn the basics to get started, and then again your apps here. And, that is pretty much Linux Mint 18.2 Sonia Mate or Mate edition in a nutshell. Next, I will show you how to get it, how to put it on a USB stick, and how to install it alongside either Windows or Macintosh. Okay, to get Linux Mint Mate edition, all you do is fire up your favorite web browser. Go to linuxmint.com and then click on your download section, and you'll scroll down, and the Cinnamon, XFCE, and KDE are different desktop versions, but today we're doing the Linux Mate or Mate. You either click on your 32-bit or 64-bit. And then it will go to this page, and you will choose any of the mirrors that are closer to you. Go ahead and click on one, and then after that you go ahead and click on save. And then next I will show you how to put it on a USB stick. Okay, to put the installation ISO onto a USB drive, Linux Mint has a writer. You just go to Accessories, down to USB Image Writer, and then go to wherever you downloaded it, open, and then insert a USB stick here. Choose your USB stick and you go ahead and hit write. Do that to make sure it is blank, because it will overwrite anything that's on the USB drive. And then next you start your computer, and next I will show you how to install Linux Mint. When you restart your computer, it will actually restart it into Linux Mint. So you can go ahead and try it a little bit more if you're not quite sure if you want to pull the trigger. And then to install it, you just go ahead and double click on the install Linux Mint. And then you go ahead and choose your language. And then if you want to install the third-party software for like graphics, your Flash, MP3, or your media codec or whatever, you go ahead and just click on that and then hit continue. I do still suggest running that driver manager just in case if it does not install your drivers, say for like your NVIDIA card or other things such like that. But to install it alongside Windows, you just go ahead and choose this, and then if today we're just going to install Linux alongside your Windows or your Mac, and then go to the screen. You can use this slider if you want to, more for Linux Mint or more for Windows. You can adjust it by using that. And then when you hit install now, it just basically gives you a warning that resizing your partition may have risks of losing some of your data. So I do highly suggest to back up any important files just in case something goes awry. You have it already back up. And then this is just saying that what changes are going to be made is that it's going to install a swap file, and then there's going to be two partitions, one for your swap file, one ext4, that's your file table. And then you choose your location, and then choose your keyboard layout, and then put in your first user here, and then your computer name. You can put whatever you want, your username, and then your password. And then if you want to log in automatically, or you require a password to log in, and this just encrypts your just your home folder. And then right now, it's go ahead and if it hasn't already repartitioned your hard drive, on this step it's repartitioning your hard drive and then putting your files on your hard drive to run Linux Mint. We'll cut this part out. Okay, when everything's all said and done and installed, just go ahead and either continue testing or restart now. Then you just remove your installation medium, press enter, and it will restart your computer. And then every time you either restart or turn on your computer, you will be prompted with this prompt. You can choose, Linux Mint, advanced options for it. You can do memory tests, or you can boot into Windows. Well, this is Linux Mint in a nutshell. Squirrel Nut signing off.